That was probably the stupidest thing to lose my mind to. You're probably looking at this guy going, what the fuck is he doing? Does he just need a screenshot? Does he just need a clip? Hello and welcome. I am Adri Gregan, and I'm back for more My Hero Academia, the final season. We're here for episode 5, and we're nearing the halfway point, which is crazy to say, crazy to even think about. I am so incredibly excited for this. We're finally going to get started with the true final battle of this season. Midoriya versus Shigaraki, obviously. It's the thing that we've all really been looking forward to and anticipating, and they've just been building up since midway through last season, frankly. They've been building up to season 1, but you know what I mean. But before we get started with that, I wanted to quickly go over something from last episode that I kind of forgot to, and since this will be a little bit longer than my normal pre-episode rambles, I'm just going to leave OBS on here so you can look into the infinite Adery abyss while I talk. So, Bakugo. I talked about it a little bit with the whole this is our story thing, but I didn't really go into depth why Bakugo being revived is such a masterful move on Horikoshi's part. Could it have been done better? Yes. I think Edge Shot is really the key to why it didn't land as it should have. But that's for another thing. And frankly, most of the discussion, I'll keep it relatively short because as I was thinking about it today and thinking about what I was going to say for this episode, I realized there was way too much to say and way too much I wanted to say to have it into these kind of impromptu analyses like I do. I really like these because I don't like mull over them. I don't write scripts for them. That's why I think is so raw about them, what's so special and what's so valuable that I'm trying to bring to the table is that these aren't like reviews that like I write scripts about after mulling it over. It's literally right before the episode and right after the episode. So this is something that I think is too big of a topic and something that I want to talk about too badly to just cover in one of these. So that's why I think that is actually going to be the topic of my next big video essay. That may sound confusing to those of you watching, especially if you see my channel, because you're maybe thinking, wait, next video essay, there isn't a first one. So my first video essay was supposed to come out a month ago, but copyright tore it apart because I wasn't willing to compromise and like edit over the footage. There's a lot of like actual just uncut scenes from Demon Slayer, which is what it's about. So I have to like go through all the copyright loops to make it available, make it viewable. So that'll be my first one. Hopefully it'll be coming out early November. But I'm going to aim for either December, maybe January for my next one to come out. And I think the more I think about it, the more I really do want it to be about Bakugo. About his role, about everything Horikoshi plays for him, and the pros and cons, the goods and the bad things about how Horikoshi handled him, how it could have been done better, and how it's a lot better than a lot of people think it is. So look forward to that. I can't wait to discuss that more in depth in the future. Obviously, this is my story. The reason why it's so perfect that Bakugo is the one who finished off All for One, on top of the reasons I mentioned. Go watch the previous episode if you missed that. But the fact that someone as initially self-centered and as self-congratulating as Bakugo is the one who denounced All for One, who can only see the world as himself. Obviously, like, that's plain as day. Anyone with half a thematic brain can spot the parallels between Bakugo and All for One, especially with how they were laid out in the episode. That's nothing special, but it doesn't make it any less important and any less impactful. And that's something that's really worth bringing attention to. The fact that he said this is our story, showing how full circle he's gone, how he's willing to accept that he can't do everything by himself, the good and the bad, right? He can't defeat villains by himself. He can't save people by himself. But also, he can't be the cause for disasters by himself. Though, why am I the one who ended All Might? He can't take that responsibility because no one man can bear full responsibility for anything, really. So the fact that he's come to the acceptance of that in this final season is brilliant. Great full circle writing that wouldn't have been available if Horikoshi had actually killed him off. So it's those kinds of things that I think people need to think about a little bit more, and when they've just got blood in their eyes and they just want to see people die. Not to say their criticisms are unfounded, but Y'all are stupid. I shouldn't say that. That's mean. Y'all are stupid. That's enough about Bakugo. Obviously, we finished him last episode. We had an all-for-one story. It doesn't seem like everything is perfectly resolved, even though he's gone now. So we'll kind of see how the thematic building that has been building up with All for One here kind of continues on in the story. If it sounds like I'm kind of dodging around stuff, it's because I am. As you've probably seen by the thumbnail, I am a manga reader. However, this video, the analysis, the prior and after video breakdown discussion, they will all be explicitly anime only. They will be spoiler free. I will not be talking about anything in the manga because I want this to be accessible to as many people as I can. I don't want you to have to wait until it's all over to watch it, because I think the discussions I bring to this I shouldn't gatekeep it to only manga readers, because you don't need to. I think if a story needs to be completed to be analyzed, then it's not a good story. A really good story like My Hero Academia is one that we can break down and talk about episode by episode as it's going without needing to know how it ends. So for you anime onlys who don't know how it ends, you shouldn't have to wait for it to be over to take part in the discussion. So I don't want that. So no manga spoilers. That is a hard rule of mine. Also, because a lot of it I won't actually be able to spoil, because after this last episode, or I think probably after the first half of this episode, I will actually be pseudo raw reacting. I haven't read it since it basically came out past this point. So while I know some of the biggest things that happen, most of the connecting tissue and the way that it actually plays out, I don't really remember. I'm gonna be completely honest. The whole Carnage Deku thing, and if you're watching this, then you've seen it, because I can tell in the thumbnails that we're getting there this episode. I didn't actually remember that. And that sounds ridiculous, and it kind of is, but I didn't actually remember the whole Carnage Deku thing. So I'm excited to see these things kind of come up again and kind of see how they play out. And you'll get a much more raw new reaction from me out of it, because even though I know how it ends, I don't really remember most of how it plays out. So I'm really excited to kind of go through this semi-fresh with you. So I'm excited for that. I hope you're excited too, and to watch my journey along. If you are, like and subscribe. Join me on my journey. Leave a comment if there's something that you think I missed, or something you want to bring up to join the discussion. I would love to open discourse with you. If you're new to the channel, I do full reactions. I don't cut them down. However, on YouTube, they will be audio and visual edited. If you want the full uncut reaction, that is uncut. They're all uncut. If you want the full unedited reaction, that is in the description. There's no paywall for it. But the episode breakdown, the analysis will be only on YouTube. So when you're done with that, please make sure to come back here, and then I'll go through the episode and we'll talk about the things that are worth discussing. Since we're really getting into Deku versus Shigaraki stuff, I can't wait to talk about some stuff I've been really looking forward to bringing up and breaking down. So I hope you're looking forward to it as well. With all that housekeeping out of the way, let's not waste another moment and get into My Hero Academia, Final Season, Episode 5, The World's Greatest Villain. A few days before the battle. Of course you should know well enough by now. Oh, pat. Mm-hmm. People's lives and futures. Far more important than just their lives. He's just going to destroy everything. Mm-hmm. Literally the world. I still can't get over All Might's face here. It's so funny. Such a powerful opening. No matter how many times I listen to it, no matter how many times I watch it, it's just so good. The feeling of finale of it is unmatched. Yeah. Okay, here we go. In a week. Oh, the water. Oh, that smash. Yes. I can't believe I'm seeing this animated. It's unreal. Such a good finale. Oh. Oh. About 10 seconds ago. Great flashback. Farewell, Nissan. Mm-hmm. Everyone who hates All for One. It's about damn time. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Visuals insane. I can't believe they said it in the PV that he just steals one of the powers. At least they didn't spoil which one it was, but so ridiculous. Just like that. This OST, this remake of this OST that was season 6. Oh, this is I totally forgot. This is Shigaraki's theme, the Symbol of Fear OST. Mm-hmm. The double tap. Shigaraki's line motif is incredible. I'm no longer there. Oh, already bloodied. Fight's practically just started. That's such a good touch. And picking it up after the fight. Jeez. Light around him with the darkness behind him. Yeah, you do not have time. Wait for the next one. But there will be no next one. I love how he just touches it and then just starts walking. He doesn't need to have his hands on it. Just the world collapsing around him. Gotta stop him. I'm not ready for these visuals. Oh. That was a stupid translation. He was talking about Toga, not Shigaraki. Whatever. Hito da. So beautiful. Danger sense just going off. Here's that OST, the trailer OST. Woo! That was clean. Speaking of clean, God, these mid cards are just so good. Just Deku and Shigaraki. Just sent him flying. Very climactic. Oh, wow. Because it spreads on the cracks. Yeah. That's so cool. I'm really glad I haven't, like, read this recently. This really is, like, all fresh to me. Except for basically his final move. Or Midoriya's final solution for Shigaraki. That's, like, the only thing I actually remember. And what happens after that. Like, all of this is, like, fresh. Yeah. Such a cool effect on him. He's got all of his quirks too. Oh, the organs. All for one's line. Heroes have so much to protect, don't they? That strain in his voice. Clearly not true. There wouldn't be such strain in his voice if he truly overcame it. Oh, voice is heartbroken. Mm-hmm. The tears in his eyes. It's not blind optimism. His emotional intelligence and his observation. You can't just pretend he doesn't have those when he's trying to save Shigaraki. It's clearly something he sees. Why did you reach your hand out to me that day? That's what Yoichi said. I'm fully supporting you. There it is. I saw it. Oh, a child who looked sad. This OST, I think it's a rendition of the, I believe it was called The Light of Hope from Season 3. It's one of my favorite tracks of the show. I'm so happy we're getting a new rendition of it. I'm not ready for this season. I'm not ready for how this is gonna play out. This is a dream come true. Not just seeing it come to life, but seeing so much love being poured into this. It's everything I could have wanted. Everything's being torn away. Mm-hmm. Something internal. Yeah. So is he, like, the strings being plucked on the left side. This is beautiful. Remember All Might's metaphor. It's forcing the Valentine's chocolates against someone else. Take this and die. Hmm. Oh, interesting. Yep. You'll just have to survive for 5 minutes. Risky. Do you see what's happening around you? Made enough of them. Visual is everything. Too blessed. He's a real hero. Something you earned. Something you cultivated. Yeah, you can watch them. Here we go. Oh, next episode's gonna be too raw. Oh, the grin. Oh. He's getting ready. And the... Ah! That was so good! So good! Why did that get me so much? Why did that? I forgot I was recording for a sec. I'm gonna have to change that audio so it doesn't break the audio. My heart. I can't. My heart. Fuck it. Oh. Everyone else, yeah. I wonder if you can even see me from here. You probably can't. That was probably the stupidest thing to lose my mind to. You're probably looking at this guy going, what the fuck is he doing? Does he just need a screenshot? Does he just need a clip? I can't believe that got me as much as it did. Oh my god. Something about that transition was just... Uh-oh. There we go. The twinkle, the like rainbow twinkle, and then the All Might card flies right there with like the trailing. That was clean. That was intentional. That was an artistic decision. That was beautiful, and obviously just. Ugh. I mean, something we kind of saw like in the trailer and like in the preview, even in the opening, even. But this is the first time you're seeing it like this, right? I mean, you see something similar to it again in the final trailer, but this is with the subtitles. This screenshot is everything, right? God, that was so stupid. That looked like such an overblown reaction. I don't care. I don't care. In case you haven't noticed, the things that make me freak out aren't like the final moments, like the art style of Bakugo doing the United States of Smash art style, which for some reason I just didn't bring attention to. I think I just forgot to mention that. Obviously, I thought it in the moment, but I just forgot to. I guess I was too hyped for the episode to remember to talk about it afterwards. But like, it's not those final moments that get me hyped. Just these little things, these little like artistic decisions that are everything to me. Oh my god. Oh, my heart's coming down. Okay, yeah. What a phenomenal episode, right? I mean, you're going to be sick of me saying it. I'm not going to get sick of saying it. It's peak. It's incredible. Studio Bones is going way too hard. I love her just giving little pats. Little pats. It's okay. It's okay. There are no stupid questions. I'm so happy we're finally here. I'm so happy we're finally here. Seeing this get animated, seeing this come to life, and actually coming to life, not like a certain shows that may be airing at the moment, is just everything. Even though like most of this fight, especially like the whole Carnage Deku thing, like I'm not going to remember it, but it's going to make for much better content because you'll see these reactions are like going to be raw, pseudo raw, but like seeing these things that obviously I knew were happening, like him tearing apart the earth, is just them fighting over the waves. It is just... I'm so glad I decided to finish the manga. For those who haven't watched my previous episodes, first of all, do it. If you like this, you're going to like those. But I watched My Hero Academia up until like the end of season 5, and because season 5 was one of the worst adaptations. Well, not one of the worst, obviously. Like what I referenced earlier, it's one of the most disappointing adaptations like in modern anime history. Was season 5 of My Hero Academia. Hot take. I will stand there on that hill to the death. I lost a lot of interest in it because it was done so poorly, and they messed up the way Horikoshi had framed his story, and it really brought the season down to lows that My Hero Academia has never reached before or since. But I stopped watching it there, and then like a year later, like 2 years later, my little brother convinced me to pick back up the manga because he had little volumes of it. So I read through it up until like halfway through season 7. Then I moved on online because the English volumes weren't far enough in yet, and I just finished the entire manga. I was reading it like chapter by chapter as it came out. I think in like 2 episodes from now we'll reach that point where I reached manga escape velocity, Horikoshi escape velocity, since he was releasing them weekly. But it's not something I plan to make a history of doing. I don't plan on being a manga reaction content or a manga analysis or manga reader reacts kind of channel. Is not my plan. I think My Hero Academia is probably one of the only shows I'm going to be doing that for, just because that's how it turned out. But I'm so glad I did. Ooh, look at its expression. It's just a different experience completely to not just have read the manga, but to watch it come to life with so much love being poured into it, right? So much love being poured into it. I can only imagine how Demon Slayer fans feel, because I haven't read that manga, but I've seen like screenshots of it. I can only imagine how they feel watching it be animated with so much love by Ufotable. But this is transcendent. This makes me so happy. Seeing all this love, the lighting, the shots. I mentioned it in episode 3, but Studio Bones they've finally mastered the art of bringing manga panels to life. And I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I don't want to say like from here on out Studio Bones shows are going to be amazing. And I don't want to say Studio Bones is unique for that. Plenty of shows have figured out how to turn a manga into an anime. But especially you saw it in season 3 with how they animated the faces, like the detail you can't recreate from a manga to anime. They stopped trying, right? They've realized that it's not imitation isn't what makes a great adaptation. It's this. It's these little motions, these little movements. It's using the tools you have available to you. Obviously, that's CG in the background, but it looks amazing. They're weaponizing the fact that CG looks odd in such a 2D drawn world. And it looks unnatural. It looks raw. And little things like this that you can't have in the manga. Punch, whoosh, bam, whoosh. I turned into a manga panel for a second there, but you get my point. It was really good. It's really cool seeing them bring it to life, and not just through animation, but through storyboarding, but through obviously the music. I commented it throughout this episode. There's so many re-renditions of older tracks and so many new tracks, and it's why I love anime so much, and it's why nothing else really comes close to anime for a viewing experience to me. As much as I love Hollywood, and as much as I love the art of like bringing in actors and screenwriting, anime is just special to me because of how many talents and how much love it pulls together, right? It's phenomenal. It's transcendent. I almost never use that word, yet I've used it like 2 or 3 times in this episode already because this is truly how I feel. It's incredible. Oh. I love this. I love the subtle influence of All for One. It's so hard when there's so many things to protect. Tom Midoriya. Season 3, the United States was Smash episode. No, it was, I think the episode before that. One for All, I believe it was called. No, that was whatever. Before All Might punches All for One in the face and just knocks him to the ground. And we get like our fake out victory before he reveals Nanashimura. All for One's like, oh, but I won't let you go too wild. Heroes have so many things to protect, don't they? And then in season 7, he said it again to Endeavor. Heroes have a lot to protect. That's why you'll lose. And so you seeing this influence like seeping into through Shigaraki is just, it's incredible. Okay, and then we get here. This is going to be the big part of the episode that I'm going to be talking about, the big discussion. I'm not going to discuss it all the way through because we're not done, obviously, but this is where I can finally start talking about something that I've really been wanting to talk to and something that frustrated me so much watching people react to trailers and review the trailers and talk about the show coming up and talking about Midoriya Izuku. Izuku Midoriya is an empathetic person, right? Obviously. He's empathetic. He's full of heart. He's full of love. And he really wants the best. He wants to be a hero. He is a hero more than he realizes. He truly has that heart. And I think people see him and see his good nature and see his kindness, and they take the wrong conclusion from it. They think he doesn't have what it takes. He doesn't have the guts. He isn't willing to kill Tomoe Shigaraki. He isn't willing to accept that he could be unsavable, irredeemable. And I think those people who do it, I see why they think that way, but I think that kind of shows a lack of understanding, a lack of empathy with Midoriya, with Deku. Someone so observant and someone who's experienced so many different kinds of people, which is really the focus of why we had Overhaul, why we had Gentle, why we had Lady Nagant, obviously why we had Shigaraki, why he's experienced all these different people and what they've done to him. And we really saw it during the Dark Deku, the Vigilante arc, whatever you want to call it. We saw that Deku is really thinking this through, right? With Muscular. He asks, the first real episode of the Dark Deku arc, he asks Muscular, why are you doing this? Was there any way this could have been changed? And Muscular was happy, he was smiling, he was like, nope, nothing. This is all I want to do. This is truly who I am. And let me ask you, did Deku push further? Did Deku try to save him? No. Because he knew there was nothing there to save. So what makes you think that such an analytical, emotionally intelligent person would be blinding himself when it comes to Shigaraki? What makes you think that Deku is not willing to do what he has to do if he finds someone who's irredeemable? He's clearly shown that he's capable of doing that. He's capable of doing what has to be done. So the fact that he's not doing that with Shigaraki, the fact that he's so obsessed here, despite like Shigaraki isn't like an old friend of his, they've been enemies for the whole show, and he's never even seen one of Shigaraki's flashbacks, unlike we have. He doesn't even know what Shigaraki's really been through. Think about that. We saw the flashback. He didn't. He doesn't know Shigaraki's past. So what makes you think that he's blinding himself and not thinking clearly here? Clearly, there's more here than meets the eye. There's more here that we haven't seen that Deku's thinking about. And we see that this episode, right? I'll go back to what Shigaraki was talking about. That's another big thing to talk about this episode. It's so cold. I can say that. So many shots here. Why was he holding on to his sad, lonely past? Here's the thing. Look back at season 7. Look back at the form he had when he was closing himself off to the world. Why did he have the fingers of his family if he'd moved on? When he was saying, there's nothing troubling me, I'm not bothered at all. Why was his voice so stressed? It wasn't ecstatic. It was pained. And it wasn't pained like, oh, I hate, it's like, oh, I'm so sad. It was, he's in contrast with himself. He's fighting against himself. He isn't even aware of it himself at this point. He's a grown adult. He's like, what, 22, I think, 23? He's a grown adult. Though I guess in this day and age, saying 23 is a grown adult is a bit of a stretch, but obviously he's not a called person. He's experienced a lot. He is a full adult, even if he was a bit of a man-child up until a few months ago, maybe a year ago. No, a few months ago. He was a man-child, but he's a grown adult right now. He's not some teenager with mixed emotions. He has a view, identity of himself. He knows who he thinks he knows who he is. So when he says this, he's believing it. He's not like trying to fool Deku. But people who struggle with mental illnesses like I do, like depression, anxiety, all that stuff, people who are too self-reflective, too self-analytical, too self-critical, even people who just go on like self-improvement journeys, all of those people will be able to resonate with me when I say, you don't know yourself as well as you think. And that's not a bad thing. But it's something that we could all do to recognize. It's something that becomes harder and harder to recognize the older you get, but it's something that is so important if you really want to grow and you really want to expand your worldview. Where were they saying this before? I think it was Shigaraki saying it. Yeah, he expanded his viewpoint considerably. Ironically, no, he didn't. He closed himself off from his viewpoint. Expanding your viewpoint is realizing that you don't know yourself as well as you thought and deciding to go on a journey to learn more about yourself, the yourself that you never knew. If you've seen ReZero, one of the greatest parts about it, the greatest part about it, and why it's dear to my heart and one of my top 3 anime and stories of all time, is because Natsuki Subaru is going on a journey to learn about himself and is realizing that a lot of his preconceived notions, a lot of his limiting beliefs aren't true. And as Rem told him, I'm not going to spoil anything, but in a conversation he had with another character, Rem, she has a little bit of a miniature outburst, and she says, all you know is the you that you can see. What do you know about the you that I can see? And he can't say anything back to that. Because none of us can know the us that other people see. We can only see what we see, what we convince ourselves is us. So Shigaraki is fully convinced that this is who I am. But he doesn't see the Tenko that Midoriya sees. Putting a lid on it. And this is something that there are as many translations as there are stars in the sky about this part. It was in the trailer. Putting a lid on the pan, pretending not to see the things you couldn't protect. Putting a lid to cover it up. I won't stop hitting it until it breaks. This is my favorite line in My Hero Academia. Because Deku's not talking about Shigaraki here. At least, not entirely. Obviously, he's talking about Shigaraki here. He's putting a lid on it, and Deku's literally going to... until the lid shatters. There's your visual representation for the day. Ow, my hand. If I hit myself and it hurts, am I weak or am I strong? I'm an idiot, that's what I am. He's talking about Shigaraki, obviously, putting on the lid and smashing it, but he's not actually talking about Shigaraki. He's not just crying for Shigaraki. And Horikoshi is not just talking about what Shigaraki did. This is about society, right? Society puts lids on things that it couldn't heal, it couldn't protect, it couldn't serve. The homeless, migrants, people who lose their jobs, people who get left behind, capitalism, the people who run capitalism's gears. There's so much that we put a lid on, not because we're heartless, not because we don't care, but because it's all we can do to cope, right? As a society, we have to bury it down because it's too painful otherwise. And it's not something that we can just fix like that. And if we mull over it and just ruin our days thinking about it, it's just going to ruin lives. This is not in defense of it, but this is to say it's not just something bad. It's not just something evil. And yet it's something that needs to be addressed, right? And that's really like the main idea of My Hero Academia, of these villains, of Deku, and of his journey. I won't stop smashing it until I destroy that lid. We need to expose the underbelly of society that gave birth to Shigaraki, that gave birth to the League of Villains. We need to expose the things that that society buried down. Because Shigaraki said so himself back in Season 6 in the War Arc. You covered it with a lid, but the insides rotted and maggots grew inside. He's one of those maggots. Everything we're dealing with right now in My Hero Academia, this entire finale, this entire story really, is the result of society putting that lid on and pretending it isn't there. Which is why it needs to be exposed, right? Exposure therapy. We need to take the lid off, look at it, throw up a little bit in our mouths, gag, be horrified at what we've created, and then start to change it, right? It's our responsibility. We put that lid there. We have to take it off. We have to take responsibility and then do something. And do something. It's not naive or arrogant. It's more mature than any other idea of, oh, we need to kill them. We need to stop these bad guys. We need to do what needs to be done. We need to be these edgy heroes who are willing to get our hands dirty. You think that's maturity, but that's just a facade. Maturity is recognizing that you do need to get your hands dirty, but it doesn't have to be blood. It can be grime. It can be the grime of tearing off the mask, tearing off the facade that these people have and getting to their heart, getting down to the ugliness of society, not these villains. Society and these villains. It's our job. The use of colors, it's another thing that manga just can't do, that anime really needs to take more advantage of. I mean, you see it in JoJo's, but like to the nth degree, but this is another great example. This is a really cool use of storytelling, of Shigaraki, of Horikoshi exploring his powers. The idea that Shigaraki stealing one quirk makes them realize is what kind of incites the idea that, wait, we can separate these quirks of one for all, and we can turn them into freaking bullets to shatter him without letting him use it. It's really cool. Oh. Look at that. That's awesome. That's great. This is the kind of visual that always gets to me. It's something My Hero Academia is not new to. They've done a lot, but it's something that ever since season 2, they've really they've always known how to really extract the most emotion out of this. The feeling of groveling on the ground, of not being able to stand, but knowing you have to move. Uraraka, during season 2, in her fight against Bakugo, trying to force her body to move. She tries to move, but then her legs just buckle, and she crawls on the ground towards him, while he's practically unfazed, at least to her. All Might, season 8, just a few episodes ago, After he loses everything, he just still tries to crawl towards All for One to get his attention. Deku trying his best to stand. If you've lived a comfortable life, which admittedly I have for a lot of my life too, but if you've lived a comfortable life your whole life, you've never like physically exerted yourself to this point, you probably won't quite understand it. You'll still see it and you'll still feel it and you'll still like feel it in your core, but you have to really feel this physical and potentially emotional, usually both, that just strain to really understand it. It honestly reminds me of my Marine Corps boot camp training. Times when drill instructors are screaming at me, everyone's ahead of me, I'm just not good enough, I'm not capable, I'm not as good as I want to be. My mind and my body feel disconnected, and like I'm just trying to get myself to move, but my body's just shutting down on me. The DIs are screaming at me. I'm screaming at me so loud that the DIs are like going and fading into the background based on my own screaming in my own head, but my body just won't move. It's such a raw, heartbreaking, excruciating feeling for that disconnect. And I think people who've lived comfortable lives and just watch anime don't really appreciate it as much as they should. And admittedly, I think a lot of anime and a lot of stories don't appreciate it either. I think it's very easy to show a character struggling to get up and like doing their best and going beyond their limits and using this demonic power that tears their body apart, right? But it's so rare that they actually get to the heart of it. And this subtitle, it says it. This is the heart of it. This young man is in the most difficult situation, but he still refuses to give up. It's not just some databayo from Naruto. It's believe it. It's not just fairy tale I fight for my friends. It's I don't have a solution. I don't have the answers. I don't know how this is going to turn out. But I just can't stop moving. I can't let that stop me from moving. That's why Deku's so special to me, in a way that no other story really is, in a way that no other shonen truly hits me. It's that raw feeling, that feeling that he's always connected to his origin, that his heart is too big for his body, and he knows it, and he keeps fighting anyways. He keeps fighting anyways. I'm trying to think of something to say to like some value to add to this, some comment to make, but as much as I value analysis and thinking and just breaking down these episodes, I also don't want to devalue the most important part about a story, how it makes you feel. And I can write as many video essays as I want. I can do whatever I want, but I can talk about how masterful the story is, but at the end of the day, it's how it makes me feel. That it makes me feel. I think if I just keep recording, I'm just going to end up sitting here in silence, just mulling over my emotions, so I'm probably going to cut it off here. There's probably more I want to talk about that I forgot that maybe I'll attach onto the beginning of next episode. I'll talk about it before, but for now, I'll leave it off here. I won't waste your time. I've said what I really wanted to say, and as more things come up in the future episodes, I'll have more to say, of course. That's why I'm here. I'm not here for the raw reaction, and if you're here for that, I'm sorry. You clicked on one that says manga reader, so you probably didn't come here to see somebody react to things they've never seen before. So hopefully my analysis is that value for you. And obviously just me freaking out as I'm watching this coming to life. But if that was valuable, please do hit that like. Do subscribe if you want to see my journey. Leave a comment if there's something you want to talk about in my discussion that resonated with you, something in the episode that I didn't talk about as much as you wanted me to, or even something you disagree with. Please leave it in the comments. I would love to open a discourse with you. I deeply love talking about these things, as you can probably tell because of how long I've been rambling on for. And I would love nothing more than if we could just engage in that discourse too. So it's not just me talking to a camera. As much as I like it, as much as it's nice to flesh out my own thoughts, that discourse is everything. So please feel free to. If not, I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. It's a high bar, but if you have, let me know. I hope you're looking forward to the next one as much as I am. I'm so excited to see these connective tissue come together as the story that was like so distant in my head really comes together and it's brought to life. And yeah, thank you so much for watching me and for watching this show. Thank you for hearing me out. I mean it. And until the next one, have a lovely rest of your day.